I welcome you to this session of ISO 9001-2015. Today we are going to discuss clause number 4.4, subclause 4.4.1, the quality management system and its processes. So, in this video we are going to cover subclause 4.4.1. Now, first of all, I am going to read out the requirement and then discuss. This is a slightly longer clause and there are 8 points in this, and one by one I will read the points and then we will discuss about those points. Okay, so let me start from here. 4.4.1, the organization shall determine, implement, maintain and continually improve a quality management system, including the processes needed and their interactions. So, this is the first para of it, and obviously any organization is supposed to establish the documented system. Now, the documented system can be in the form of a quality manual plus the procedures, work instructions or whatever is necessary for providing support to the people who have to implement the processes. So, depending on our convenience, we have to decide how we are going to shape the documented system. So, the organization shall establish, then implement and maintain and continually improve. Continual improve is a permanent objective in the ISO systems. A quality management system including the processes needed and their interaction. We have to establish the processes and their interaction. By processes we mean different processes by which we work in the organization. For example, planning is a process, and once you have planned, perhaps the next process could be procurement, and after procurement it is probably storage, and then comes your production or implementation of whatever service you are providing. And after that or initially it could be marketing and then planning, then after planning you can say purchase, and then the production, and then the service provision. So, it depends on what kind of industry you are running or what kind of organization, what kind of products you have and services you render. It will depend on that. So, that is how we have to carry out this implementation of the standard, that the organization will establish, implement and maintain and continually improve the quality management system, including the processes needed and their interaction. So, you have to decide the processes needed and also their interaction. Now, let us go to next para. Now, there are 8 points as I told you. I will read out one by one. So, let me read A. Determine the inputs required and the outputs expected from these processes. Now, every process is an activity where there are certain inputs. So, those inputs have to be identified fully and completely, and the output which is coming out from that process or that activity has to be immediately identified from these processes. B. Determine the sequence and interaction of these processes. As I discussed with you, the very first step could be business development or marketing, and then comes the planning, and then after planning we do the procurement, purchases, and after purchase probably the production aspect, and whatever sequence is followed by us. So, in that manner determine the sequence and the interaction of these processes, how they interact with each other. For example, the planning plans out how much material requirement is there, it raises the indent goes to the purchase department. So that is the interaction which is happening between planning and the marketing and planning. Marketing is giving feedback to the planning that what kind of products are needed in the market, and based on that the planning is carried out, and then the planning raises the indents for procurement. So this is how the interaction is happening between these. So B says determine the sequence and interaction of these processes. So we have to determine the sequence and interaction of processes. Then C, determine and apply the criteria and methods including monitoring, measurement and related performance indicators needed to ensure the effective operation and control of these processes. So once we have established what processes are there, then we have to fix the criteria and methods how we will carry out that process, including what kind of monitoring, at what stages the monitoring has to be done and the measurements have to be done, and what other performance indicators will be there to ensure the effective operation and control of these processes. We have to ensure that the effectiveness is there. That means whatever results we are expecting out of these processes, those results are achieved. So in that manner we have to fix the criteria and methods including the monitoring, measurement and related performance indicators. So performance indicators could be how much output is expected and what level of errors are to be permitted or they are not to be permitted at all, or whatever is the kind of criteria we fix for the output to be accepted. So needed to ensure the effective operation. Operation will be effective if we are providing the output according to our requirements. So if output is meeting the requirement as we have fixed, then it is effective. So we have to ensure the effectiveness and we have to control these processes. So that is the point number C, and now we proceed on to point number D. Determine the resources needed for these processes and ensure their availability. So in advance planning has to be done that whatever resources are needed, whatever equipment, measuring equipment, materials, manpower, design drawings or whatever is needed, all that must be planned out and provided. So determine the resources needed for these processes and ensure their availability. So timely availability of all the resources for any kind of activity that has to be done and carried out, and we have to put it in the procedure that we make so that we carry out the activity in the same manner every time, and there is a guidance available for the people, and new people who join, they can see what is the procedure and understand it and follow it and implement it. So that is how we have to document it properly. And then E, assign the responsibility and authority of these processes. For every process you are supposed to assign the responsibility, who is responsible to carry out that process. He must be qualified and eligible for carrying out that process, should have the necessary experience, and he should have some kind of background so that he is not new to that kind of process. So assign the responsibility and authority. Who are the people who are going to control that process or that production? So this we have to document the responsibilities and authority for every process. And then F, address the risk and opportunities as determined in accordance with the requirement of 6.1. In element number 6.1, we identify the risks and opportunities which are there because of the context of the organization and the requirements of the interested parties. So out of that, what kind of risk and opportunities have come out, and that if you see my previous videos, you will find there in the format that risk and opportunities analysis has been done for the context of the organization as well as for the needs and expectations of the interested parties. We have to cover the risks and opportunities that are identified for successful operation of that process, and address these risks and opportunities as determined in accordance with the requirement of 6.1 as I discussed just now. And once we have done that, then the next point is evaluate these processes and implement any changes needed to ensure that these processes achieve their intended results. We have to, once the processes are being carried out or have been carried out, then we have to evaluate these processes and see if any changes are needed to ensure that these processes achieve the intended results. That means these processes have to remain effective. So, we have to ensure the effectiveness of these processes, and wherever any changes are needed for making them effective, those changes have got to be made either in the procedures or in the material or measuring equipment or whatever it may be. And then the last point, H, improve the processes and the quality management system. So, continual improvement is a permanent objective, and that we have to keep in mind and see that we improve our processes and accordingly change our procedures so that that improvement is captured in the procedures and implemented. I hope you have understood this requirement of 4.4.1, clause number 4.4.1, and if there is anything which is missing or which you feel is not adequately understood by you, please put your comment below this video, and I will make it amply clear to you, and if necessary I will come out with another video. So, please do it, and also please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and also please do like, if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and like my videos. I will feel very happy if you do so. And also please press the bell icon so that the next video will reach you well in time. Okay, so thank you very much and see you in the next video. मिलते हैं फिर, then we meet again and bye bye.